losing my freshman year in the finals was like very devastating for me. I was like it brought me to a place, like a dark place, like for a few months, very depressed, and just kind of felt like a waste of time almost, like, and just thinking very negatively towards myself. And I got to a point where I was a little sick of doing that, of being a baby and, being sad. And I was like, just talking to myself, I'm like, dude, are you going to be a sad little baby for the rest of your life? You got 3 more years of school. Like, what are you going to, like, you can cry about it, or you can get back on the horse. And so then I'm thinking to myself, all right, I'm not going to be a baby about it. So what's like the biggest challenge I can give myself? And immediately my head goes, up a weight, beat this guy. And I'm like, let's freaking do it. So then I just reset my goals, and that was the new goal. So that was what I was focused on.
That's very important and very interesting for especially anyone who's listening closely. Here you are, we talked about this whole infrastructure you had around you, how really good and to great you were. And you set a goal, you didn't reach the goal, so immediately it vaporized. And
right.
now you become somebody that you're not even sure who that person is.
Right.
Alone, maybe depressed, as you said, and probably were depressed, second guessing things.
Yep.
And so what pulled you out of it was then your own reassessment, I guess. Am I hearing that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you needed to put another purpose in front of you.
For sure.
So that is key to the everyday person that may not have to take as long as it did for you to get to that spot.
Right.
But you reset it back, as I say reset back to zero. Every day is a chance to reset to zero.
100%.
You did something great yesterday, fantastic. It wasn't so great, it's behind me. And so clean slate, you start over. So it's great to hear that.
I love hearing that from you as well, because, when I would say when I look back on the lessons that I've learned and everything, the story really goes further than, being at the bottom of the barrel and then, kind of resetting my goal, because the way that it actually played out and kind of what I learned about myself and about life through this whole process was that, I failed. I didn't reach my goal, and I was able to kind of climb back out of that, reassess, have a new goal, and I came all the way to the position that I thought I was going to be in with that new goal, wrestling Gabe Dean in the national finals the next year, and I win, right? And I achieved it, and I felt the other side of that, and immediately I was so grateful, so happy, and just feeling very like almost fulfilled in a way. And guess what? That feeling went away, right? The next day I still felt pretty good. A few days later I still felt pretty good. By the time a week had gone by, I'm like, that doesn't really mean that much to me. So the loss stayed with me a lot longer, but it faded just as the win faded. And I realized, winning and losing in this setting, they're really not that different. And at that moment, that's when I was no longer afraid to lose, because up until that point, I truly believe like I still had some fear in me, some fear of failure, fear of losing. And I think that drove me to a certain point where I was able to be a high achiever and perform at a high level. But it also was what held me back from even shooting further and becoming more than what I had even anticipated. It was bringing myself to a certain point, but also capping me out there. And so I think I'm a stubborn person, so I had to feel that like intense trauma of getting beat in sold out Madison Square Garden in front of 20,000 people, and feel that like ultimate kind of like failure. And then on the other end, the flip side, feel that like huge goal and making it happen and coming out victorious, to kind of compare those and realize, hey man, these feelings fade either way. You don't need to be afraid of what's the outcome is of the result. Just do your best. And that's really what's valuable at the end of the day, is the process and what you learn.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this clip, be sure to check this one out right here, because it's just as good, or maybe even better. Cheers.